this video is going to be a slight change of direction from what I've not been doing in the past, but I'm quite a big boxing fan, so I just thought I'd give my thoughts and a prediction on the fight that's happening tonight between Vitali Klitschko and Dereck Chisora in Munich in Germany. I don't know if anybody's aware, but Chisora actually slapped Klitschko at the weigh-in yesterday, and I think he's actually getting fined 50 grand for doing that. It was pretty funny actually, and it's must have added quite a lot of spice to the fight. So if you can watch it, it'd definitely be worth tuning in. It's actually on Box Nation tonight. I think it's 10 o'clock. So if you can watch it, it'll certainly be worth viewing. But onto the fight. I think Klitschko, we all know what he's going to try and do. He's going to try and dominate the centre of the ring, dominate the pace of the fight, keep Chisora on the end of his jab, just like he's done for his last few opponents, who, to be honest, have just been there for a payday, especially Shannon Briggs and Kevin Johnson, these sort of fat American guys that are coming towards the end of the career. They obviously don't want to be there really, but it's a big payday for them. So his last fight was against Thomas Adamek, who was never going to win that fight. He was way too small, former cruiserweight world champion. He's a good fighter, Adamek, but he's just physically not capable of doing anything to Vitali Klitschko, and he just got picked apart and stopped, I believe, in the 10th round by TKO. So, but yeah, this will be a much stiffer and a much different challenge. I think Chisora will present that. A lot of people are writing him off, but I think he's certainly in with a chance. Now, a lot of people say he's got a puncher's chance, but I don't know that that's quite right. I think he's not a one-punch knockout kind of guy, Chisora. He couldn't get... His last fight was against Robert Helenius, which I'm sure if you're a boxing fan, you know that Chisora was absolutely screwed out of that fight. He clearly won, but he went down as a defeat anyway for the European title. But I think most people recognise that he won that fight, hence him getting the chance to fight for the World Championship against Klitschko. So, but yeah, I think his best route to victory will be to sort of press the pace early in the early rounds. Klitschko's obviously getting on in age. He's 40 now. He's not getting any younger. So if he can push the pace like he did against Helenius, always keeping Klitschko's face, work inside. We've seen Klitschko's vulnerable inside. We saw what Lennox Lewis did to him with uppercuts and hooks on the inside. And there's always that question mark over Klitschko's chin, but I think he's actually shown that he can take a good shot. The uppercuts that Lewis was hitting him with would have stopped pretty much anybody else, I think, at the time, but he took them and carried on. He eventually got stopped because of really nasty facial injuries that he had, if you've seen that fight. But I think that's Chisora's route to victory, just to keep on top of Klitschko, make him fight at a high pace. When he gets on the inside, when he gets within range, to try and wing those hooks, left and right hooks and uppercuts. And Chisora is good at that. Once he gets inside, he does put a lot of power into his hooks and his uppercuts. But I'm just not sure if he couldn't get Helenius out of there. I'm not sure he can do that to Klitschko. So I think he needs to stay on him early, press the fight, and sort of drain Klitschko's energy, and then maybe try and finish strong as well. Because let's face it, if he's going to get a decision over in Germany against Vitali Klitschko, he certainly needs to earn it, and it needs to be a decisive victory. But Chisora's last couple of fights, obviously the Helenius one, and before that was against Tyson Fury, where he was massively out of shape and overweight. I think he took Tyson Fury way too lightly. I think he would have actually won that fight had he not been in such poor condition. But yeah, he's certainly got experience fighting big guys. The last two guys he's fought, Helenius and Tyson Fury, both been, I think, 6'6", 6'7", that sort of range. So he certainly won't be intimidated, as we saw at the weigh-ins yesterday with a slap. He's over there to fight and to make it a scrap, and I think that's what he'll do, certainly early on. And I think he'll give a really good account of himself. As I say, I'm certainly not writing him off. But the problem I have with him winning is that he's not got that one-punch knockout power that David Haye had against Vladimir Klitschko, and I think that's what you need. I think the threat of the one-punch knockout always needs to be in the Klitschko's mind. I think that's because I do think they can be weak mentally, and I think if the threat is there of the one-punch knockout, then they'll be maybe a bit more tentative. But I don't think Klitschko thinks he's really got anything to fear with Chisora's power. I think he'll just try and dominate the centre of the ring, keep Chisora on the end of his jab, and maybe look for that big chopping right hand that has been so effective. And I think although Chisora can take a big shot, certainly he's got a really good chin. If Klitschko connects on anybody, I think that's the beginning of the end, really. So we'll see how that goes. But my prediction would be for Klitschko to probably stop Chisora around the 8th or the 9th round, something like that. I think Chisora will start fast for the first 2-3 rounds. He'll really be pushing the pace. He'll be in Klitschko's face. Excuse me. He'll be winging hooks, uppercuts, and I think he'll really make an impression early. But once Klitschko establishes the jab and starts to dominate the pace of the fight, and we'll see the normal Klitschko fight where you've got Klitschko following his man around the ring, just plodding away with that jab and bringing the big right hand over the top. And I think that'll start to take effect from the middle of the fight, from the 4th or the 5th round onwards. And I think eventually it'll become too much for Chisora. He'll take too many jabs, too many big right hands, and I think he'll eventually get stopped around the 8th or the 9th round. He may make it through to the end. He's certainly got the bottle. Chisora, he's definitely got the heart. So I'm hoping he can pull it off. I actually like him. I know a lot of people don't like Chisora and with his antics and such like at the weigh-ins of his fights, but I actually like him. He's a fighter. He comes to fight every single time, and that's what I like about him. So fingers crossed he can pull it off, but I expect a mid to late stoppage for Klitschko, round 8 or 9. So yeah, like I say, watch the fight if you can. It should be a good one while it lasts. It's on Box Nation. So thanks for watching. Leave your comments below if you've got any opinions on the fight, and yeah, cheers.